Hi, team, and welcome to today's presentation where we're going to be talking about the science behind Trimsulin and the difference between the GLP-1 synthetic medications and Trimsulin's plant-based GLP-1 weight loss program. We're going to talk about how Trimsulin works differently. Now, a few weeks ago, I interviewed Dr. Richard Kaufman, who is a product formulator and head scientist at First Fitness for over 34 years. And he had some very interesting topics that he covered about the difference between GLP-1 synthetic medications and Trimsulin. And I've been asked to do a replay of that. But before we get started, I want to talk about why and how GLP-1 has become a revolution. You know, just a few years ago, most people had never heard of this term GLP-1, and yet today it's one of the most recognized topics in weight loss. So the question is, how did GLP-1 become a household name? And that goes back to about 6 years ago when the pharmaceutical companies realized that a prescription drug that they were using to control diabetes could also help people lose weight. And then the pharmaceutical companies shifted their focus from wanting to help diabetes alone and now started promoting weight loss. And so they have spent hundreds of millions of dollars educating consumers what is GLP-1. So consumer awareness right now is at an all-time high. Now, the numbers are staggering because when you look at Novo Nordisk, the maker of Ozempic and Wegovy, spent more than $200 million just in 2023 to get that Ozempic commercial into your living room. Do you know that last year they spent almost $500 million in the first 9 months alone? So the marketplace has already been educated on GLP-1. Why does this matter to First Fitness Nutrition and to our team members? Because we are not having to create an awareness from scratch. Consumers already understand what is GLP-1 and appetite control. And I believe that the opportunity for all of us, physically and financially, is larger now than ever before. And why this matters to First Fitness Nutrition is because we're not having to create awareness from scratch. Consumers already understand what GLP-1 and appetite control is. And the opportunity at First Fitness Nutrition is larger now than ever before. So what I'm going to do right now is segue into my presentation that's been pre-recorded with myself and Dr. Kaufman. Let's watch it together now. We are in the middle of a global obesity epidemic, and it's only getting worse. And that is exactly what has driven the explosion of these GLP-1 medications. When you take the statistics in America alone, you've got 7 out of every 10 Americans being overweight. 42% of them are obese, and it's getting worse. So what we're seeing is a massive shift in the obesity statistics, and at the same time, an explosion of these GLP-1 medications. But that raises a much bigger question. What is actually happening in the body, and why do these GLP-1 approaches work sometimes? Not all the time, I said sometimes. Well, to understand that, I'm going to let Dr. Richard Kaufman, who is the inventor and patent holder of the technology behind Trimsulin, but also the patent holder of lipid nanoparticle delivery systems, and having over 40 years of metabolic and anti-aging science behind Trimsulin. He has also developed over 150 commercial health and wellness products. So Dr. Kaufman is very well versed in understanding the science behind the plant-based alternative in Trimsulin and the synthetic substances that are making up these GLP-1 medications. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Kaufman to our presentation.
Oh, thank you, Nigel, for inviting me here. This is going to be a very informative, important session to understand what's really going on with Trimsulin and weight loss.
Well, Dr. Kaufman, everyone's hearing about GLP-1 right now, but most people really don't understand what it's actually doing in the body. Can you break it down in simple terms?
Absolutely. Your body has a built-in weight management system called the incretin hormone system. Incretin hormones are gut hormones released after eating that coordinate your entire metabolic response to food. The two primary incretin hormones are GLP-1 and GIP. They both work together as a coordinated system. Semaglutide only uses GLP-1. Tirzepatide uses both. That's why tirzepatide seems to be more effective than semaglutide. Well, GLP-1 tells your body when it's full and signals the pancreas to release insulin, regulate your blood sugar and glucose absorption. GIP-1 amplifies the insulin release, acting directly on fat cells to support fat metabolism and enhance the overall incretin response. Together, they form a complete hormonal system for weight regulation. Now, the situation is the GLP-1 drugs only target the incretin hormones. Trimsulin activates both the incretin hormones and other coordinated signals downstream that have just as important role in weight loss. In other words, we've created a new class of signaling molecules that work across the incretin spectrum, as well as other parts of the whole weight loss control system in your body. As you mentioned before, Nigel, 70% of Americans are overweight, 42% obese. It's not a matter of willpower, it's a broken incretin system. Low GLP-1 signals means constant hunger, strong cravings, low energy, difficult losing weight. GLP-1 drugs like semaglutide and tirzepatide inject a synthetic hormone that mimics GLP-1. They work by slowing down gastric emptying so food stays in the stomach longer. The result is fullness, but the artificial nature of these ingredients cause up to 79% side effects in the users of these drugs. The downside of the GLP-1 drugs are nausea, bloating, constipation, vomiting, direct consequences of artificially slowed down activated receptors. When a patient stops the injection, the appetite returns back stronger than before, rebound hunger, and most people regain their weight within a year and a half. What people really don't know is when they're taking these injections, up to 40% of the weight loss is actually muscle mass, along with a massive amount of their subtissue collagen giving the face structure. In fact, a great tip right now is that the collagen peptides can help replenish the damaged structural tissue of the body as a result of the GLP-1 drugs. So you don't have the ozemic face, the ozemic butt. As I said before, most people regain their weight. And who wants to spend $1,000 a month for something that you'll regain the weight back and have a lot of artificial effects? There's a massive population of people who cannot access the pharmaceuticals, costs, needles, side effects, or personal preference. That's your market.
And Dr. Kaufman, when you look at GLP-1, it is one of the fastest growing segments in healthcare. And it is so popular that there are over 250,000, and I want everyone to listen to this, new GLP-1 prescriptions that are written every week in the US. And it is projected to be a $100 billion global market by 2030. So that shows you how desperate people are wanting to lose weight. But there are also millions of people who are not willing to try the synthetic option. There's millions of people that have been on these weight loss injections, didn't get the results that they wanted or can afford them, didn't like the side effects, and they're looking for a plant-based alternative. So, Dr. Kaufman, if these medications are targeting GLP-1 in a particular way, what did you see as the gap, and how did you solve the approach differently with the introduction of the Trimsulin weight loss formulas?
I saw the gap that these drugs, all the different GLP-1, GIP configurations, only target a small spectrum of what regulates your body. That's what I saw as the gap, a natural approach that works on the whole spectrum of what controls body weight, appetite, satiety, as well as metabolic health. There's other benefits of Trimsulin way beyond the only for weight loss and control of appetite. So it's really a comprehensive program. It consists of the appetite control GLP-1 glucose regulator, and that has the major GLP-1 activity. But just as important is a thermogenic fat burner, thermo. It works mostly on thermogenesis and several other pathways that work with the control. Secondly, we have renew. What people don't know is the gut is the area where the body produces the GLP-1 and the GIP. Decades of overeating, not taking care of yourself compromises the L cells that release it. So renew optimizes the internal environment. So control and thermal have more activity than without it. Lastly, the key is really over time is you really want to have a healthy eating guide, intermittent fasting, etc.
Now, Dr. Kaufman, what makes Trimsulin so exclusive to First Fitness Nutrition? What have you done in filing the patent on the technology? Can you explain that in layman terms to our listeners today?
Okay, there's an enzyme called DPP-4. It actually destroys both GLP-1 and GIP within 2 minutes of their release. It's your body's own off switch for the incretin system. So Trimsulin control inhibits DPP-4, meaning it stimulates both GLP-1 and GIP simultaneously. It protects the signal from breakdown. The result is both hormones stay active longer. They have more effectiveness than anything else provided. This is a key component of my patent application and why this is better than anything else you will find.
And then, Dr. Kaufman, can you talk about the comparative study? Because this not only reveals accelerated weight loss, but this was a very substantial study that you conducted over a period of 6 months. Can you explain your findings and what the protocol was with this study?
Yeah, this was a 503-person observational study. So we basically followed the same protocol that the pharmaceutical companies followed. There was a meta study actually comparing the results of tirzepatide to semaglutide. Very well done, showing what they did at 3 and 6 months. So basically, I overlaid the data that we produced in our observational trial to show that we had faster weight loss and fewer side effects. For example, at 3 months, there was 7.3% average weight loss versus 3.8% for semaglutide and 5.9% for tirzepatide. At 6 months, we had 14.1% average weight loss versus 5.8% for semaglutide and 10.1% for tirzepatide. But the most remarkable part are the adverse effects. We had 4.8% for Trimsulin versus 80.7% for semaglutide and 81% for tirzepatide. And we had no serious side effects. That's the most remarkable thing. So these are published outcomes from a real observational trial.
Dr. Kaufman, when you talk about the success from the results of the comparative study, I want to show our listeners the real results from real people. I mean, this is what people are experiencing. And yes, you'll see that Tony lost 18 pounds and Hannah lost 30 pounds. Kendall lost 114 pounds. Casey lost over 100 pounds. But if you got to the root of how these individuals struggled to lose weight, and then once they found Trimsulin, incorporated the supplements, and then had a transformation in their healthy eating, they made this part of their lifestyle. So they're losing weight, exercising, and eating healthy. And as a result of that, having this lasting weight loss success. It's just incredible. Dr. Kaufman, what I would like you to do is give us a quick overview of the 3 main products in the Trimsulin weight loss program, starting off with Control.
Control is a core product, the complete incretin hormone activation bioactive signaling molecule platform in a powdered form. It stimulates both the GLP-1, the GIP secretion from the gut, activating the full incretin cascade simultaneously. GLP-1 handles the appetite suppression, the satiety, the glucose regulation from the brain and pancreas. GLP amplifies the signal. It also has a DB4 inhibitor in it that extends their activity that I already mentioned before, as well as activation of bioactive signaling molecules downline that make it even more effective. The combined result is reduced appetite, reduced cravings, improved fat metabolism, improved blood sugar regulation, improved insulin sensitivity, and the body's complete biology working together correctly again. It's so easy to do. You just take it 30 to 60 minutes before your meal. That's it. Really simple. Now, there are key ingredients in it, and a lot of that's in the research. And without going into too much detail, berberine, the allulose, the inulin, the quercetin, the mulberry leaf, it's a complete formula that has multiple effects. A lot of people are aware of berberine. It's only a small fraction of this product. The allulose, for example, is a rare sugar that reduces glucose spikes and supports insulin response. Inulin's a prebiotic fiber that improves the gut microbiome, which directly supports the release of GLP-1 and GIP-1. The flavonoids, quercetin and myricetin, they're documented DP4 inhibitors. Mulberry leaf helps stop carbohydrate absorption. Now, thermal works on a completely different biological pathway than control. It activates brown fat thermogenesis. In other words, it cranks up the metabolic rate to metabolize fat burning. While white fat stores energy, brown fat burns it. Thermal activates the conversion of the process. It works on the beta nerve receptors that trigger fat metabolism. It has multiple ingredients in it that work across this cascade. For example, the caffeine, the green coffee extract, the capsaicin, the forskolin, that contributes to the thermogenic activation through documented biological mechanism. The result is increased caloric expenditure throughout the day, reduced hunger between meals, and improved fat metabolism. It's a powerful tag team with control. Taken together 30 minutes before meals, the combined effects of the thermogenesis and the GLP-1 multiple pathway signaling is a synergistic improvement over anything in the market right now. Now, Renew is interesting. The gut is where GLP-1 is produced. So gut health is fundamentally very important to control doing its job. A compromised gut environment reduces L cell function, impairs GLP-1 secretion, and creates inflammatory conditions that worsen insulin response. Renew clears the gut of the accumulated waste, reduces the bloating, and creates an optimal environment for GLP-1 and GIP-1 cell function. The probiotics, for example, restore the microbiome that supports incretin signaling. The herbal components support bowel motility and elimination. It's designed to work with the body's natural elimination cycles. As a result, people who use it notice even better results with Trimsulin than without it. This is a great addition to the whole system that ties it all together in a neat bow to make this product spectacular for actual documented results based on science.
You know, Dr. Kaufman, when I'm listening to you talk about the significance of each one of these products, it makes it even more compelling to become more of a believer in what we're doing, because this is not just another program. I mean, this is a significant, science-proven weight loss program that is getting the results that it's getting because of the technology behind it. And what I want to share with our listeners is that it's more than just the products, as you've heard, because when you take our healthy eating guide, we want you to be in your day-to-day rhythm of living your life. We don't want you to think of this as a diet, because it's not a diet. And so the healthy eating guide, you're going to be eating real food. There's no counting of calories, fat grams, or carbs. It's easy to follow, even with a busy lifestyle. And we have taken this eating platform and modified it from one of the most successful eating programs in the world called the Mediterranean diet. And what we've done with this program is we have taken out the high calorie sugar fruits and we've replaced the simple carbohydrates with complex carbohydrates. And then we've incorporated intermittent fasting, which is just allowing your body to burn fat more efficiently by allowing longer breaks between your meals. And when you're fasting, you can drink any approved beverage from the healthy eating guide, and that is not going to break your fast. So this is very easy to incorporate. So how do you take Trimsulin? You take control and thermo 30 to 60 minutes before your first and your last meal. That's twice a day. You take a renew in the morning and one at bedtime and follow the healthy eating guide. And when you do that, you're going to be incorporating the Trimsulin weight loss program, which is the control, the thermo, the renew, and the healthy eating guide. And you're going to control your cravings. You're going to reduce your appetite. We're going to promote fat burning, support healthy blood sugar levels, and enhance your gut health. And that is what's going to give you the success that you want for permanent and sustainable weight loss success. Dr. Kaufman, thank you very much. That was incredibly insightful, and it really helps connect the science behind what makes Trimsulin so effective. We really appreciate you being on our presentation today.
Thank you very much, Nigel.
Now, one of the success tips I want to give everyone who is on the Trimsulin weight loss program or who gets their Trimsulin weight loss program is to pay attention to your program when you get it, because inside your program box is the healthy eating guide. And on that healthy eating guide is this quick start video QR code. And you just take your cell phone, scan it in, and it's going to take you to the Trimsulin support page. What's unique about this page is that quick start video. If you can get everyone to watch that video, they are absolutely going to maximize their results, because it tells you how to use the products properly. It talks about intermittent fasting, talks about the healthy eating guide and the good food choices, and it's got some great weight loss success tips. So I highly recommend everyone scan that QR code and watch the quick start video. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation from Dr. Kaufman. Now what I want to do is show you the results that people are getting with Trimsulin, because we're getting faster results without the injections and without the prescriptions. And when you take a look at Tony, she's down 22 pounds in 60 days. I mean, that's an amazing transformation. We've got Michael, he lost 23 pounds in 4 months. We have Hannah, 30 pounds in 6 months. And then we have Chris Tinney, who was featured on a presentation a few weeks ago. He got on the GLP-1 injections. He lost 48 pounds initially, but also had a 5-day stay at the ICU. He transitioned to Trimsulin and lost 53 pounds in 6 months. An amazing transformation. And joining me today is another Trimsulin weight loss success story. Please help me welcome Kerry Bacon to today's presentation. Kerry, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Nigel.
You know, when I think about your profession, football coach, you'd like to think that football coaches, being very athletic, being in the game, knowing what to do, yet we're all human beings and we all can get off track from time to time. And you were telling me you got off track and got up to 330 pounds, but you were at a crossroads and you made a decision. What was the crossroads and what was the decision that you made to want to lose weight?
Well, the reason why I wanted to lose weight was the fact that I was overweight and my A1C level was through the roof. Being a type 2 diabetic, it's very difficult to lose weight on those traditional meds. I also wanted to lose weight so I can have a better insurance policy for my kids, so I can leave them a legacy. And I didn't want them taking care of me when I got old. I want to be in better shape. Wow. So I made a decision. I decided to order Trimsulin, and when I got it, I looked in the box and there was a diet plan. That's what I really needed because I'm not disciplined with eating. and then they had control, thermo, and renew. And I was like, well, if this is all I have to take, then hey, let's give it a shot and see where it takes me, you know?
So,
Okay.
Kerry, how many times a day are you using control and thermo?
I use control and thermo twice a day with two of my meals.
And are you doing intermittent fasting?
Yes, that's very, very important to the diet plan. It really, I'm not even hungry. I don't even want to really eat much. I make myself eat just so I can have some energy throughout the day.
So you've really noticed a reduction in your appetite.
Oh yes, yes. I'm not even hungry, and I cut out the fried foods. Fried food is my favorite, but it made it really easy to be able to cut that out. And I have plenty. I have a lot of energy. My goodness. When I first started, I couldn't even sleep sometimes because I was just so excited that I felt so good. And and man, it was just a different world. It just put me on cloud nine, and I got excited about it. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep going because I lost, I think, 10 pounds in about a week and a half. And I just couldn't believe that I had lost 10 pounds in a week and a half. So I got excited and I was like, let's just keep pushing the boundaries.
All right. And so you mentioned that the healthy eating guide has really been beneficial for you. Can you explain to our listeners why has it been beneficial for you?
Well, that guy told me exactly what to eat and when to eat. As a football coach, my day started real early in the morning. I commuted an hour and a half, and then you're just working all day and you're coaching, and you just have irregular hours to eat. So it was better for me to fast while I was at work. It was easier for me to eat something small, like the Brussels sprouts and broccoli. They filled me up, and I didn't want to eat anymore. So it was a no-brainer. It was very simple to do.
All right. So you're on the program 90 days. How much weight have you lost now?
I've lost 58 pounds.
Do you know that there are going to be people listening to this presentation and say, that's almost unbelievable, isn't it? And I say, it is what it is. You lost 58 pounds in 90 days. I mean, how do you feel, Kerry?
I feel great. I feel like I'm 30 years old, and people can feel how they want. I was 330 pounds. I'm only 6 feet tall. I had a lot of stuff to lose, but I feel great. I can tie my shoes without huffing and puffing. I can run up the steps. I ran for the first time in years, man. Y'all don't understand it. I almost broke down crying just thinking about it, but I feel great, man. I feel like a whole different person now.
Well, Kerry, I just want to say congratulations on your weight loss. You're getting your health back. You're on a transformation. You've made that commitment, and we look forward to celebrating continued success with Trimsulin. Thank you for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. God bless you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard about the difference between GLP-1 synthetic medications and Trimsulin's GLP-1 plant-based weight loss solution. You've heard from Dr. Kaufman on what makes our product so significant and unique, and you've heard and seen testimonials that are life-changing, and those success stories can be yours as well. If you want to start your weight loss journey with Trimsulin, I'm going to encourage you to get back with the person that invited you to watch this presentation and tell them you want to get Trimsulin, because a 30-day supply comes with one control, one thermo, one renew, the healthy eating guide. It's got a retail price of $175. That's about $6 a day. And if you become a VIP customer, you can get a 10% discount and free shipping when you order Trimsulin. So I really encourage you to make that decision, and you will have the success that you want for yourself. Now, next week, this is going to be July the 7th, backed by popular demand, is Dr. Rob Neer, and he's going to be talking about GLP-1 medications and the evolution of weight loss and what the future holds for people wanting to have successful, sustainable weight loss. Plus, we've got some amazing new testimonials. So Please mark your calendar, invite everyone you know. This is a very exciting and informational presentation that people, even on the medications, are going to enjoy, because at First Fitness Nutrition, people on the medications are looking for GLP-1 support, and we have products that can help do just that. So I want to thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you next week.